Hello guys, good day to you all. Welcome to my channel. Obviously, a lot of Nigerians aren't happy with how TINUBU is running the economy. Hence the whole call for electoral reform, the whole call for TINUBU to be ousted 2027, the whole call for a revolution and or what not. Just think of it, a whole lot of things just to make Nigeria better. There's been widespread condemnation of some of the actions and the policies of the TINUBU administration, and one of such that happened recently is the whole talk about salary increment, of the president, the vice president, lawmakers, and governors and political appointees, being proposed, of course, by the Revenue Mobilization and is it Fiscal Commission or whatsoever they call themselves. These people clearly, they are showing Nigerians how biased they are. So because there's a law that allows them to do certain kind of stuff, I think it shouldn't mean that they should abuse this whole thing. Now, this is not sitting down well with a whole lot of persons. In fact, because of this whole talk about increments of salary for these individuals, what's their name? NLC, has even come out to say, oh no, the 17,000 minimum wage is not enough. So we are calling for a review and all that. And they are threatening strike, which I would love that to happen, but I am not banking on NLC because we know how the likes of Joe Ajera and the rest, how they are. So they go there, they come out, and then you hear different stories altogether. Now, SERAP is not sitting back because SERAP is not dragging the revenue mobilization and is it a allocation and fiscal whatsoever they call themselves to court. They have filed a suit against these people, for proposing salary increment for TINUBU, Shetima, Nyesom Wike, and the lawmakers, not even considering what Nigerians are going through. They never even for one day propose, say, okay, the salaries of the civil servants, and every person in Nigeria, this is what it should be. No, they are much more interested in in people with political appointment for God knows whatsoever reason. I see this, our institutions, they have become a mess. So I'm going to read what SERAP, what the media reported about the lawsuit filing by SERAP, and take one or two social media reactions possibly. But before I get to do that, let me quickly show us this video of Soludo where he kind of, I saw that as a mockery, made a mockery of Valentine Ozibo, and also where he insulted, the APC governorship candidates. I think, to me, I perceive what's his name, Soludo, to be really petty and at the same time, troublesome. I'm going to show you the video and then we'll be back.
I think the energy is going to more better. You are getting back. You are getting back.
Alume. Agabo Oblane, Obluno land grabbing in a memory van, I don't back and buy on your bass, Chologani, you may be Lavani Malanya. Oberon came, Macassi without Pongos, each of our appointment here without Pongos, without Pongos, English F9, mathematics F9, economics F9. So, in English F9, how come we are going? In mathematics F9, you have a compare number. I have a compare. As an organ economy and number, but in F9 economics, basic economics, demand and supply, go F9. And no wonder businesses in our Obido na number, but then Obido go business in Omenacalada, also land grabbing. Because I went F9 economics, maths F9, English F9, economics F9, F9. So no wonder even Balaga or that. Our election card in Anambra civil service, only Andro qualified to be recruited as a driver. You want F9 okay ije school line bata school is ụmụ akwụkwọ gosiwa na akwụkwọ ike gọvanọ na ana m na-ekwe iwe ebido iwe m sef kedu ibe anyị akọrọ ụmụaka anyị biko anyway ọ bụrụgo demokrasi onye ojegolu tiketi pati ijegolu tiketi pati pụta Anambra na gọvanọ ọnụ o ji akpọ gọvanọ onye kụziri ya gọvanọ onye kụziri ya weta gị ji azụ ahịa anyị kụọ ya gbogbo.
Like I said earlier, in my opinion, I think Soludo is just troublesome and really petty. Now, even the VAR himself could tell that he's being mocked, even though I don't pity him. The whole matter is just kind of funny to me. Like, I swear, Soludo like trouble. I think Val, whatever it is he's passing through, he called this to himself. So it is good, you know, that, you know, what is it called? He's seeing how politics is being played. He's seeing how dangerous, you know, the politics of Nigeria is. He has also seen how he has used his own hand to win his own chance of becoming, you know, the governor of Anambra State. Somehow, to some extent, I am glad that something like this did actually happen, because the Obedience would have given their support to Val Ozigbo, and then at the end of the day, you will find him carry that mandate and move over to the APC, or not just moving over to the APC, but also showing himself the mask that he has been using to cover his face. He will just, you know, unveil the whole stuff, and then people will get to see the true color, and then it will become much more trouble. And that's why I feel like, okay, for the Obedience camp, you know, there's every need to be really careful whom we throw support to and all that. We just have to be careful about the whole stuff. Very important. Now, one thing again, I feel like, okay, we shouldn't really be encouraging, because I saw people laughing at the background when he was trying to, you know, insult Nicholas Ukachukwu over his result that recently, you know, went on social media space, F9 and all the rest. I think we shouldn't be encouraging all these things, because this is the time for you to actually campaign and do proper campaign. The proper campaign should be, okay, what you have been able to achieve in the case of Soludo, and what you intend to offer the people, you know, if you are re-elected. Not you using that platform to come and start castigating, you know, your contestants in the election. Look, the Soludo himself, even with the certificate that he has, A1 in economics or whatsoever, let's assume that's his result, A1 in English, what has he been able to do with those, with the result? How well has he been able to translate these things into, you know, good governance performance? How well? Because right now it's as if his education is also useless, in my opinion, because you have not used it to serve the people in any way. You get A1 for economics, you be professor for this one, you went to Harvard University, you went to this university, you did this, you did that, your result is A1 all true. Okay, how you take the impart, how you take use and impart, make changes in people. We should stop encouraging rubbish. This was the same thing that happened in 2023 election. TINUBU was busy castigating Peter Obi and statistics, we go chop and all that, instead of presenting the core thing that he wants to do for the people. And what are we seeing today? What are we seeing today? Even though he gave us a hint, widen tax margin and the rest. But what are we seeing today? People were busy clapping to rubbish. Today, here we are. The economy is in a downward slope, and there is so much lie from these individuals. So much. Soludo is just being troublesome as far as I'm concerned. Yes, it is good we know the people coming to rule us. Ukachukwu, why I just look at him with a certain kind of eye, it's not even because of the certificate. Even though we need people, you know, with good, you know, intellect. And I feel like, okay, since his result is like this, he might not really have anything to offer. But I wouldn't want to use that to judge him. I wouldn't want to use that. My problem stems from the fact that I have seen some albino nature in him. I have seen it. So there's every tendency he's going to be like every other person within the APC. But I think it's wrong of Soludo to actually use this as a campaign. he should tell the Anambra people what he has done, what he intends to do. Because already the Anambra people, the sons and daughters, they even versed with her. Thank you so much. Please do leave your opinion in the comment section. Now, let me quickly read out what the media reported about SERAP suing, the Mobilization and Fiscal Commission.
The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has filed a lawsuit against the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, over the proposed salary increase for political and public office holders in Nigeria, particularly for TINUBU, Shettima governors, their deputies and lawmakers. RMAF had last month announced its proposal to raise salaries for the president, vice president, governors, their deputies and lawmakers, claiming that the pay of these office holders is paltry. In suit number FHC/ABJ/CS/1834/2025 filed at the Federal High Court Abuja, SERAP is asking the court to determine whether RMAFC's proposed salary hike for the president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers in Nigeria is not unlawful, unconstitutional, and inconsistent with the rule of law. Specifically, SERAP is seeking a declaration that the proposed salary increase for the president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers in Nigeria is unlawful, unconstitutional, and inconsistent with the rule of law as it violates the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended and RMAFC's Act, an order of injunction restraining RMAFC, its agents and privates from taking any step to review upward the salaries of the president, vice president, governors, and the deputies and lawmakers in Nigeria, an order directing RMAFC, its agent, to review downward the salaries and allowances of the president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers in Nigeria to reflect economic realities in the country. According to SERAP, restraining the Commission from arbitrarily increasing the salaries of the President, Vice President, governors, their deputies, and lawmakers would serve legitimate public interest. The group further argued that the RMAFC's constitutional and statutory mandates do not imply the unrestrained powers to increase the salaries of the President, Vice President, governors, their deputies, and lawmakers. SERAP maintained that reviewing downward the salaries of the president, vice president, governors, their deputies, and lawmakers would be entirely consistent and compatible with the Nigerian Constitution, the country's international human rights obligations, and the current economic realities in the country. The suit, filed on behalf of SERAP by its lawyers Kolawole Oluwadare, Ms. Oluwakemi Oni, and Andrew Nwankwo, read in part, when the exercise of RMAFC's constitutional and statutory mandate clashes with Nigerians' fundamental rights, the public interest in upholding these rights ought to prevail. The imminent pay rise for political office holders is a gross violation of the provision of Chapter 2 of the Nigerian Constitution relating to fundamental objectives and directive principles of state policy and the country's international human rights obligation. The combined provisions of Chapter 2 and Chapter 4 on fundamental rights, particularly Section 42, give meaning and substance to the socio-economic rights of Nigerians and their rights to equality and non-discrimination. SERAP also stated the RMAFC should properly discharge its constitutional and statutory mandates to monitor the accruals to and disbursement of revenue from the Federation account and advise the federal and state governments on fiscal efficiency and methods by which the revenue can be increased. The imminent pay rise for political and public office holders in Nigeria, particularly president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers, is a gross misuse of the RMAFC's constitutional and statutory mandates. The RMAFC has neither unrestrained constitutional and statutory mandates nor unbridled discretion to increase the salaries of the president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers. The RMAFC has improperly and incorrectly exercised its constitutional and statutory mandates by increasing the salaries of political office holders. The proposed salary increase is a violation of the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution, the country's human rights obligations, and the legal doctrine of reasonableness. RMAFC cannot legitimately or justifiably increase the salaries of the president, vice president, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers at a time when over 133 million Nigerians are poor and several state governments are failing to pay salaries of workers and pensions. RMAFC seems to act consistently to give advantage to political office holders over the interests of poor Nigerians. The RMAFC, in the exercise of its constitutional and statutory mandate, ought to balance the interests of the marginalized and vulnerable sectors of the population against the interests of political office holders. The RMAFC ought to prioritize cutting the excessive amounts yearly budgeted as allowances for political office holders and life pensions for former presidents, vice presidents, governors, and their deputies and lawmakers. The idea of representative democracy, fairness, and equality and non-discrimination would mean little if the salaries of political office holders are arbitrarily increased while millions of poor Nigerians continue to pass through harrowing times and watch their standard of living plummet. Now you can visit the Parallel Fast for more reading on this, and also some other news outlets for further reading on this. So let's head back to the videos.
I won't be surprised if nothing comes out of this. First and foremost, these political appointees, TINUBU and the rest, they clamor for salary increments in addition to the stealing they are doing. And you can see how our judiciary is already. These people, they don't use cars and the rest, they wash their face. So I doubt if anything is going to come out of this, but let it be on record that okay, there are people that actually took action against what some institutions, our government, they are doing against the people. Because I don't see any reason why these people have never advocated for salary review of civil servants, and even people within the private firm, they have never really talked about it. Anytime they want to talk about salary increment, it always covers those who are politically appointed, the number one, the number two, the number three, and lawmakers. Now these individuals, now then they do the work. Like, I don't understand. So it makes no sense to me. These are the issues we keep having. Institutions will leave the core things they're supposed to do. They will go and, because they are seeking favor somehow, and they call an eye service, they will go and be facing, what they are not even supposed to be looking to. The salaries where these individuals they collect with alongside the allowances, are they even supposed to be talking about salary review for these individuals? And is there supposed to be anything like salary increment with what they go home on daily basis? If every Nigerian where they work for this country in a month they collect salary of 1 million naira, you think say people life for never better? But these individuals go home as high as 14 million. Some, I don't hear in some cases where they say that 21 million. Yet they never still do them. Why won't they die for the position? They are saying, oh, we go through a lot, the salary is not enough. Oh yeah, now don't leave the house. They cannot leave the house. They even queue to enter the house to tell you what they are benefiting. Aside those allowances and the rest, those in the committee that they even give 950,000 as being alleged every month, they will still share that money when the committee don't have any meeting for that month. So you see, say the money where these people they collect plenty. So why they go and increase their salary? I do hope that SERAP will be able to get justice from all this, because It is sickening to me, say with the suffer. Then people sit down. Wetin be their concern now how to increase salary for TINUBU and co. Forgetting that millions of Nigerians, their salary need to be increased. Minimum wage will be say they never even they pay some states. Very shameful that this is what our institutions they have turned themselves into. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly do leave your opinion in the comment section. Kindly subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Click on the bell icon the moment you subscribe. That way you get to know as soon as I publish. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you so much for the immense support. God bless you richly. Do enjoy the rest of your day and see you guys in my other videos.